17th meeting of the regular board meeting of the Medina County Board of Developmental Disabilities to order. Let's do a roll call. Let's start with Lisa.
Here.
Medina. Here. Debbie. David.
Here.
And Kelly.
Here.
Okay. We'll make an announcement. There will be an executive session after the meeting. Please make sure your cell phones are either silenced or turned off, and please make sure your microphones are turned on. All right. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, can we please recite the mission statement? The mission of the Medina County Board of Developmental Disabilities is to promote and empower individuals with developmental disabilities to live, learn, work, and socialize as citizens in the community. Thank you. All right. Next is the approval of the agenda. Shannon had sent the agenda out beforehand. Do we have a motion to approve? Pardon? I did not get a modified one. Is
the list you handed out, you're just going to list that as item 2 on the approval of minutes?
Yes, it will. I'll bring that up as an item on approval of minutes because the minutes prompted your note. Okay? So, yes.
Did we have a second?
Do we have, is that a motion, David?
Deb,
I'll take it as one.
Deb did a motion.
Deb,
Ennis.
you did. Okay, I'm sorry. Bill second. Motion and second. Any other comments? Okay. All in favor designate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. So moved. All right. Approval of the minutes of the last meeting, the October 27, 2025 board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve and a second before we discuss anything?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, and Debbie does second. Okay, now discussion. Any comments? Okay, what I will insert here is David had some questions regarding that. And and Annie had given some very good responses just within the last day because of the timeliness of Dave's questions. And we've requested those be distributed to all board members. They're fairly informative and they don't detract from the minutes, but they are supplemental. Any questions? Okay.
I have a quick question. I apologize. I wasn't here last time. There's a comment in here, recommendation on the action plan dashboard report, noted the value of a dashboard report to see progress throughout the year. I just want to see if I can get a little more context on what that comment means.
You're in the minutes.
Yeah. I'm
Page,
on,
where are you?
Page 8, very end.
Right at the top.
Well, anywhere just kind of right before we go on to talk about some of the timelines, we talk a little bit about an action plan dashboard. I just want to make sure I understand the context of that.
Yes, I brought that up because in preparation for our exercise that we're undergoing, I went back through the last year. Actually, I went into last year, 2024, and looked at the dashboard reports to see how they progressed or did not progress. What may have looked deficient in one was that accommodated in a follow-up, et cetera. So I just recommended that for my edification. That was a valuable exercise.
Okay. So you weren't referring to actually creating a dashboard as we did?
No. And I think I prefaced my statement with, I found a valuable source of information by going through prior meetings information, such as the dashboard reports. Yes. Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor for approval of the minutes designate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. So moved.
I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
Okay. Note that Debbie did abstain. Okay, next on the agenda, recognition of retirement.
Okay, so we have Robert A. Zimkowitz retiring. So whereas the Medina County Board of Developmental Disabilities knows our staff are the foundation of our system and are critical to our daily mission of helping people with developmental differences lead independent, safe, and healthy lives, and we recognize the powerful impact and vital role staff have on the long-term success of individuals with developmental differences and their families. Whereas Rob Zimkowitz, having begun his employment at the MCBDD on July 11, 2022, as an economic developer, brought with him sales experience, a knowledge of the benefits of hiring people with disabilities, and proven relationships with many Medina County businesses. Rob has proven through his employment at the MCBDD to be a compassionate and caring public servant, at all times committed to the Medina County Board of DD, its mission, and our community. Whereas during his employment, Rob has shown his dedication and reliability to the individuals and families he has worked with during his career at the MCBDD. His outgoing personality and humor have been a joy to coworkers, families, and the community. He is a team player, always willing to provide a helping hand, whether assisting with transportation, coaching, or teaching employment classes. He has played a significant role in the Medina County Collaborative and Meet Social Initiative, as well as the Business Advisory Council. Rob has been a great advocate, coworker, business partner, and dad joke teller. Whereas Rob is looking forward to spending more time with his family and especially with his new grandchild. His positive attitude and warm personality will be missed by all of those he has come in contact with during his career. We are honored to recognize your efforts and appreciate all you have done with and for people with developmental differences in Medina County. Therefore, the Medina County Board of Developmental Disabilities formally expresses its sincere gratitude and appreciation for your contributions and congratulates you on the occasion of your retirement. We wish you all the best and continued future success.
He's not attending tonight? No.
He is not here.
Okay. Any comments? Okay, hearing none, let's move on to old business, state budget update.
Well, state budget, well, more importantly, the federal government's back open. So SNAP benefits are being loaded onto people's cards. So SSA department had prepared as many resources in the county if we were going to need to assist people with food and all of that. So we had that in place, but it's back open, at least for now. We'll take it. State-wise, we're still watching House Bill 309, which is the Budget Commission bill. It's currently in a Senate committee. It's being looked at. The Ohio Association of County Boards has asked for an amendment to it. They've proposed an amendment that would prohibit the Budget Commission from reducing the voter-approved DD level if it would compromise the board to fulfill its statutorily required 5-year projection. Because currently there's no protection for that. So we're going to see if they pick that up or not. So we're hopeful. OACB is they're doing a great job at talking to people and meeting with people, so trying to get that through. So, I mean, I think that's the big budget item that we're still, or the state stuff that we're still watching. Also, the federal government workers that were laid off are back on the job, which includes that Department of Education, because their whole department had been gutted that oversaw all of the special ed stuff. So we were excited about that as well. I don't know if they're going to stay. I guess we'll see what happens. But that happened for the federal as well. But yeah, I think really statewide, that House Bill 309, we're watching to see how it's going to come out of committee. So, and I feel like every day there's something new.
Stay tuned.
So,
So
Comments? Anything from the
all
board?
the staff benefits were down. Did you receive any, like, people that were really in need?
we did not. We did hear a little bit from some providers that some of the staff had some issues, but we did not really hear about anybody that we were serving need immediate assistance. So we were happy to have that happen.
Good question.
So SNAP benefits, really, they stagger. That not everybody gets them at the first of the month. So they do stagger. So we weren't sure when it was going to hit, so to speak. So, but no, everybody seemed to manage. And the Medina community has really kind of gathered around it and had a lot of resources. So we were happy about that. So
Anything else?
And
David?
does our association has represented us well? Do the legislators know that we support, the county itself supports the association? I mean, are we on record of saying?
Well, I
yeah?
mean, Senator Romanchuk knows for sure, because he knows us well. So I know he's aware that we're involved with the association and that we're supportive of this amendment. I don't know that I can tell you if everybody is aware of that, but all the county boards are in that association, so I think they probably are aware of that,
Okay.
but I
just
can't
wonder if
I
it-
can't guarantee you.
Yeah, I understand, but I just want to know if they think it's strong enough that, yeah, these counties, really support that bill, not just the association, but these counties.
I mean, I hope so.
Well, I think it's also similar to like the County Commissioners Association. They have an association that stands up and speaks on behalf of all the county commissioners across the state. And I think it's perceived that same way for our
Okay,
association.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you.
All right, anything else? Nothing. All right, moving on to new business. 2025 Midwest Innovations Contract.
Okay, the administration respectfully requests board approval of resolution number 42-25 to authorize the superintendent to enter into a contract amendment with Midwest Innovations LLC for locally funded day array services and non-medical transportation services. The contract is effective from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 for an amount to not exceed $110,000. This contract amendment is needed as they are serving more locally funded individuals.
Okay, need a motion and a second before we discuss. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
David, second.
Second.
Okay, Lisa. All right, any discussion, questions, comments?
Do we know how many people this represents? I'm assuming this is transportation.
It could be day services as well. Do we know how many people?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's locally funded only. It's not for waivers, it's just for locally served. So I don't have that count off the top of my head. Do you want to know that number?
Just
As a follow-up?
Yeah.
Okay,
And do we know what the amount was last year?
I know their contract amount was over the 75,000 for renewals. This is just an amendment because of extra individuals they might have picked up. I ranged between 100 and 150,000.
I mean, I guess maybe the question I'm asking, because I know that we're limited and who we have to work with here, do we know if it's competitive or are we limited to this group? So it's
This provider selected by individuals through the ISP process.
Okay,
So it's a free choice of provider
Right.
process, and this is just for the locally, those individuals that are not on waivers, it's the locally funded services for Midwest as a provider. We have about 28 providers that are offering, providing locally funded services.
Okay, thank you.
anything else? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Kelly?
Yes.
David?
Yes?
Debbie?
Yes.
Medina? And Lisa?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, so moved.
Thank you.
Next,
The administration respectfully requests board approval of Resolution 43-25 to authorize the superintendent to enter into a contract with Delta Dental for the following services: employee dental insurance. The contract will be effective from January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 for an amount not to exceed $135,728. There are no changes to the level of benefits and there are no rate increases at this time.
okay, before questions or discussion, do I have a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Okay, Kelly, do I have a second?
Second.
Debbie? Okay, now open it up for questions, comments? None? Hearing none, we call the question. Lisa,
Yes.
Adina, Debbie,
Yes.
David,
Yes?
and Kelly. So moved, and the chair votes yes. Okay. Okay, superintendent's report.
Okay, so, just a couple things. The Replay for Kids toy giveaways this week at Windfall School. That's always an exciting event, so the public is welcome to come to that. It's from 1 to 4. I think, is that correct? Do I have that time right? Yeah. So that's Wednesday. Early Intervention has had a busy month with 38 total referrals for October, so they're keeping busy. You can see the trainings that have been presented and are upcoming on the second page of the superintendent's report. The October advocacy meeting had 37 in-person individuals with 5 attending virtually, which was a good number. It was nice to see that many people participate at this time. Congratulations to Brian Doyle as the DSP Spotlight for November, and you can read about him in the report. As he said, he enjoys being able to make a difference. So congratulations to Brian, and thank you for all that you do. As you all saw, the main entrance is being worked on, so that's moving quickly, and the staff have been flexible in where they've had to sit and where they're going, because it displaced quite a few staff. So, and it's been loud down there also. So staff have been great about it, and it's moving forward. It's quite the change. So that's happening. And then congratulations to Paula Majoris and Lee Devereaux for being named Awesome Action Club Advisor. And then there was Awesome Action Club members as well. So Matt Darling, April Duval, Adrian Gentile, and Diane Prekop. So congratulations to them. And as always, there's tons of Special Olympic stuff in there. So
And one thing that came out in Dave's note, you asked about Election Day,
Yeah,
and Patty did a great job in terms of, having things prepared to promote.
she
Or-
did.
so.
Yep.
Awesome. Annie, I was just going to ask, in the administration section,
Yeah.
it's probably just something that I'm not aware of. Can you talk a little bit about the neon contract and how that's a change from?
Yeah, I'm going to let Carrie talk about
Oh,
it, and it is one of
then.
the questions that Dave had asked a little bit
Oh, very
around that
good.
also. So, but Carrie can address that.
So we have a contract with Neon, and they provide various levels of supports for us. They do MUI backups, they do QARNs. They also have manage our supported living or locally funded residential contracts with providers. So they have been doing that for quite a few decades. We have always been having discussions about whether or not it is would be appropriate to have them also manage the contracts for the locally funded day service transportation and career planning employment services. It came up, it's always come up as a part of a service that's needed in Medina County's transportation. And it's whether it's for waiver individuals or locally funded individuals, it's just an issue that we've been challenged with for a lot of years. So it was really an effort to switch over contract management from us doing it to Neon doing it for us on our behalf, was because we were seeing a number of locally funded providers not wanting to enter into a contract with us for transportation specifically because the insurance requirements in a county contract is much higher than what it would be through DOGD waiver provider contract. So we've had a number of transportation providers not be able to provide services to people with local funding because of that. So we thought it would be a good move, both just for efficiency of contract management, but also so that we can increase those providers that can provide services to, like, for transportation, for an example. So we decided, I met with Neon, their executive director. We went over, the information that was needed. We're still going to process the invoices for all that billing in the business office. It's just strictly the contract management. So a benefit to that is it mimics the waiver rules, mimics the waiver provider certification rules. They also, Neon has switched in 25, they switched when they do a contract with provider, they're tying it to their certification dates. So they don't have to do an annual contract every single year like we would do through here. So that's another a benefit to that as well. So we're hopeful. I mean, recently I've had at least 3 transportation providers specifically that couldn't enter into a local contract with us through here, but I have let them know that we're switching the contract management to Neon, so if they would be able to do it that way, and they were more than happy to do that. So it's just really to increase the provider availability.
Okay. What's the difference in the insurance requirement? What is
So the county
generally?
A county requires general liability to be at 1 million per instance to over the course of aggregate. And then it's also the same for auto insurance, and that's where it really hurts is the auto insurance has to be at $1 million. And that's some of the larger agency providers, they have that anyway as their natural level, so there's not an issue there. But some smaller agency providers or even independent providers, I don't think we can expect them to go out and get $1 million auto insurance policy just to provide transportation services. The state provider is, they have enrolled as to what the requirements are for them. So it's more like state minimums is what the state requires for providers to have.
Okay.
So that's where the difference is.
And so the implications for like the individuals that we serve is like, I don't know, if somebody filed a class action lawsuit, they couldn't file as big a class action lawsuit against another provider versus us. Like, what are the implications? What are the implications for the individuals we serve?
They just don't have as many providers to be able to choose. Like if there may be someone who needs transportation service to an area that
I meant more the insurance
the
difference.
liability. I mean, it would go through how it would with waiver provider services. So it would go through that company's insurance or whatever insurance that they have is what it would go through.
They just don't care. They're not required to carry as much protection as the board is.
Providers? No.
Neon,
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand the implications, like for an individual that we serve, what are the implications of this? None?
No, there's
I'm not-
implications.
it's better.
What are the implications of,
Well,
for
the
them?
the implications is, if tragically something happens,
Mm-hmm.
the well is a lot deeper on our side. That's why we cover
That's what I
$1
was
million.
saying. Yeah.
All right, what we sound like we're doing though, and I haven't heard you say how much it'll cost yet, that'll be my next question. But the issue being is that we are shrinking the coverage to get more providers. Now, the providers still get paid the same whether they have the insurance with us.
But you have to understand, it's for the locally funded individuals. The waiver individuals, they don't have to have that $1 million coverage. They have what the state requires them to do to be a provider. So it's for the group of locally funded individuals that aren't on a waiver. We're trying to make it across the board equal. Like we do pay locally funded rates are the same as the Medicaid waiver rates. So at this point with just that contract service, it's going to be the same as it is for the providers as far as the cost of insurance. And Neon has already been doing it for the residential contracts. They've been doing that for decades for us. So, and the providers that were under us, they have it, they're the larger providers, they're going to have that level of insurance. They're not going to drop their insurance down just because
Yeah.
it's not required of them. This is really targeting the providers that are independent or really small agencies that can't afford to have that level of insurance.
Are we at any more risk by lowering, if you will, our standard to meet the individual providers?
I'm not aware that we would be.
Okay.
I mean, we're not lowering our
It
standards
doesn't imply lowering standards.
because the contract is not managed through us then. So we're not lowering our standards. Because it's going through Neon, it just will match all of the other waiver services.
So the contracts we're still going to manage, like the LLAs, the therapy contracts, and home modification contracts. They all require to have
Yeah,
that $1 million,
I understand.
the
I
higher
just-
level of insurance.
Just talking strict
Yeah.
transportation. The individuals without waivers are less covered for a disaster.
They're not less covered than anybody on a waiver. It will be the same coverage.
Right.
So anybody on a waiver, it will match exactly what what somebody received that has a waiver. If they're in an accident, it's the same cover. It will be the same coverage.
I
It
think
won't
what
be
you're
less
saying-
than.
I think what you're saying, which is the same thing I was saying, which is it's less than what it used to be, or less than what it currently is.
Right.
When we were covering it ourselves.
That's right. It
Yes.
is less. It's,
Yes.
it's not really equal, it's just less. What's our $1 million for?
That's
The occurrence
that-
limit, and then you have a $2
yeah.
million
Right.
aggregate.
So
Right.
there's an occurrence limit.
So the question is, are we
Lower.
additional insured on the other policies? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm just saying, we have $1 million coverage on an accident.
The provider does,
The provider does because they're coming through us and that's what we
and we are
require.
listed as additional insured through that
They
process.
go out and have an accident. I mean, I don't like talking about that, but they go out and have an accident. They don't have $1 million coverage. They have what the state allows or whatever Neon's provide. That's their limits.
And what the providers are required to carry as waiver
Per
providers.
state rule,
Per state rules.
Which is less than $1 million.
correct.
Yes.
So they don't have the same coverage. It's,
So I guess the question
take it away.
is, I think we're just trying to figure out what the liability is. Do we know what the state requirement is for the independent contractor, so to speak?
I feel like it's a state minimum
Which-
requirements, which is probably the 12.5, 25, whatever the state minimum required for anyone who
Yeah,
drives or
everybody
ha-
else on the
to
road
have
has that
insurance.
amount.
Yeah, which is really, really low.
Right.
But just so, because I'm kind of new to this, and Lisa's asked some really good questions, did we hire these independent providers? Right, so
They're
they're completely
independent contractors.
offering
Right.
Yeah.
transportation services.
Correct.
So we're not arranging the transportation. Our individuals are actually finding these transportation companies on their own. We're not recommending them. We're not endorsing them. Is that correct?
It's through the free choice of provider process.
Right,
Yeah,
Which means we're not endorsing anybody.
Right.
right,
Okay.
correct.
okay.
So, yeah, we wouldn't be on the hook as much.
Well, we have deep pockets, so
Yeah.
we would always, but if we're not the ones who say you have to use this transportation company and the
We are not.
state is saying these are what your limit requirements are,
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, there's kind of pros and cons to us being additional insurance, because we kind of get dragged in anyway. We would all get named. is
We
really
would.
what it affected.
I mean, realistically, we would.
Yep.
Do we have an umbrella policy too over that auto, or is it just capped at the $2 million aggregate?
The request from the prosecutor's office is always just spend the 2 million aggregate. So you have the general liability and then you also have auto. So it's the two-part piece to that.
And do we have an umbrella policy over it, or no? Is it
We've
just-
never requested them to have an umbrella policy. We have our own liability, which we have, that would cover us, and anytime we'd be brought into a case or a lawsuit or whatever,
So
you
if
know,
we have
our,
an umbrella policy, that would effectively sit over the auto as well. That's generally how it's. Yeah. So, I mean, if we have an umbrella policy, we have additional limits in theory.
I mean,
right, but there's no, the contract is for the funding. To reimburse the providers for the service. So if something should happen and I don't see a way where they could come back to the board and say, well, you got to pay just because you have a contract for funding.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where I think we don't have the risk.
We're not hiring them, we're not recommending.
Correct.
them,
Right.
and it's
Correct.
choice.
And that's why they're always, stated in the contract that they're independent contractors. They have no claims to us. We have all those, statements that need to be in there. The change is just trying to level the playing field for providers across all funding sources is really what this change is for.
How much is Neon gonna charge us to do this work?
$2,000.
$2,000?
Yes.
End of discussion.
Thank you, I know that was a little, I know.
Yeah.
This might be for Jenny, but what is a new SSA team? 2 new SSAs to the team.
it's just the SSA department.
2 new hires.
She called, yeah, just 2 new hires to the department. She called it the team, but it's the department.
You got your name right, so that's.
Yeah,
Small ones. Even the small ones.
well, I guess what I'm looking at is the youth SSA team. Is that our team assigned to the youth?
Yes.
Now, specifically.
For
assigned
youth.
To youth, if we're at work, if we're.
Gotcha.
Spread out to
Another one of your questions here, Dave.
Yep.
And the response is pretty explanatory
yep,
too.
yep.
Also, you had one on neon reduction of staff, and that was based on our discussion just now. I think
$2,000. It was a silly
I think
question.
it's obvious, yes. Okay. Anything else on superintendent's report? Hearing none. Financials, Carrie.
Okay, for revenue for October, we did receive the second half payment of the homestead rollback tax of $1.1 million. We also received the quarter 3 sales tax of about $8,300. You'll notice TCM billing for October, the revenue we received was for our August 25 claims, but it was also a rebill of past claims that might have been late entries of notes that we went back. We are starting this process on a quarterly basis to go back and recapture notes. And then we also did a big look at all the Medicaid eligibilities of individuals and got them all updated. So we were able to go back bill for services of people that may not have been noted as Medicaid eligible before, but are actually Medicaid eligible. So that was a big push to recapture some past TCM revenue. State grants, we got our fiscal year 26 Keeping Families Together grant payment, that KFT grant for $10,500. We will get the second half. It's a 2 fiscal year grant. We'll get the other $10,500 next year. And we're using those grant monies to cover the rent at the new youth respite home arrangement that we have at Summit County, and then also for some youth respite services is what we're going to use that grant funding for. Department of Ed subsidy, we just got 3 payments in October. Normally we only get 2, but just timing of it, we got 3. I'm expecting a cost report settlement by December. I'm also expecting a MAC fourth payment in December as well, and I don't have any concerns with revenue. Any questions on that? Expenditures, there were 3 pay periods in October. We had the quarter 1 fiscal year 26 state admin fee of $90,000. Special projects included DSPU internship hours, non-medical transportation employment program, and 2 days of the Momentum Refresh changing table contract. Equipment, we had some network switches that needed to be purchased, some office furniture for the community supports renovation, and operations needed to get a circulator pump. Medicaid match, we had the match for the 5 DC residents, but it was also our quarter 2 fiscal year 26 waiver match payment of $2.4 million. And I don't have any concerns with expenses at this time.
Special projects went up quite a bit. Is there,
So the special projects, again, in response, I think, to one of your questions was, we had 2, the capital housing projects that landed in calendar year 25. It was a 24 project that was paid out in 25, and then we had the youth respite home
Yeah.
capital funding project as well. So those weren't budgeted because of the timing of when the expenses, we always typically budget for one of those, but 2 hit the books in 25.
okay, they had carryover. Good.
Yeah, one was paid off at 24 PO, so it went against 24's budget, and then the other was 25 PO. Cash balance for October is $39.1 million. And the monthly cash flow report for October, we used $2.6 million of the fund balance. And year to date, we've added $39,000 to the fund balance. I expect year end that we'll be in a deficit spending year to date by the time the December books close. And any questions on the voucher report?
Anything specific on vouchers? Hearing none. Any questions overall on financials? Hearing none. I will entertain a motion in a second to approve the report.
So moved.
Kelly, a second, please.
Second.
Lisa, okay. Any further questions? I think we had a motion and a second in the beginning. No, we didn't. Any questions? Do a roll call. Lisa?
Yes.
Idina?
Yeah.
Debbie?
Yes.
David?
Yes,
And Kelly?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay, board stats. Is in your packet. Any questions?
yeah, I do have a question. Let me just figure out what it is.
Okay,
Um, You know, just trying to match some of these numbers. I guess my question, just taking the estimate, for example, we had 32 new individuals found for the year or for the month. And yet we dropped just one in that case. You go up and see where we've dropped before. What are we saying there as far as new individuals found eligible?
So remember, that can also include EI individuals, and they would not get an SSA. So that last column is assigned SSA. So it could be that it's EI numbers, it could be disenrollments, it could be people moved to other county. Even found eligible does not, they may not end up wanting services. I mean, so it's really kind of a fluid number. I mean, a lot of things can happen in that. So the numbers, the total individuals assigned could balance it out because, again, if people move, if people disenroll, that kind of stuff. So, and with the EI numbers, it's not necessarily going to match directly.
But we're saying we have SSAs assigned to 1,292
Right.
in the month of October. Are we also saying that we found 32 new eligible individuals, whatever program they're in? Is that what we're saying there?
Yes. From what I understand, yes.
How successful are we converting? I don't know if it's successful or not, but converting that 32 into 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 more individuals to be serviced.
I don't know that our goal is to convert, is it?
Well, if we found them to be eligible,
And I'm not really sure what you're asking me.
Well, if
Because
we-
again, like, so EI would not necessarily be assigned to a SSA.
Okay.
So that still means that they're getting services.
okay,
And they had, 38 referrals. So probably most of those 38 accepted services.
we're in the eye.
Right.
Like, would you know the number of, like, how many individuals apply for services each year? And how many get approved?
So if we're, the number, the 1292, we're counting them, that means they're assigned to an SSA, which means that those 1292 have accepted services
Okay.
of some type.
And then, do you know the other number that they still EI, but they don't have necessary?
So early intervention right now, total was 244 this year. But again, people come on and off EI because they turn 3. So it's a moving target. It's a moving target. Depends on what age they come in, depends on, when they come off.
Like, do you know how many per year, how many require, like, each year? Like, let's say if there's 100 that want services from us, will those 100 get approved, or
If they're eligible, yes, they'll get approved. We do
Right.
not have a waiting list
so
right
it's
now.
not, you're not guaranteed to get approved?
Well, I mean, you have to meet eligibility requirements. So if they meet eligibility requirements, then they are getting services, if they choose them. Again, we're a voluntary service, so they
Yep.
may go through it. We've had some people say, never mind. But yes, we do not have a waiting list, so if they are wanting to come in for an SSA, then that's happening.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks for educating me,
Yeah.
because I knew
I mean,
that-
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Annie, I've looked at this number just to piggyback off of Dave's
Yeah.
question before. I've looked at this number, the past year and thought, wow, it'd be great to really have a better understanding of when we say they're found eligible, how old are they, right? So if we know how old they are, then we have a better understanding
Yeah.
of that. And I think as we look forward next year, then we'll get a automated dashboard in Tableau, since that's the way DOD is going to be doing it going forward, it would be great to have a little deeper dive and some information on.
And we can take a look at that.
Yeah.
We can take a look at it.
Thinking through this, I think the key term is we don't have a waiting list,
You know,
but there is a process. So if an individual applies or, then they have to go through the process to then be accepted. So again, there is that queue through there before they're formally on board, so. But again,
32, having more information on that 32, I think.
I mean, we can take a look and see what we have, for sure.
And like future, like next year.
Yeah.
We're closing out this year.
okay, anything else? All right. Anything else before we go to the open forum? Any questions, comments? Nothing. Okay. All right, and a reminder, we will be going into exec session after our regular meeting. Open forum time. The board maintains discretion to hold an open forum. The board may not elect to address public comments during the open forum. However, the board shall provide acknowledgement and response will be provided within a reasonable time frame. 5 minutes are allowed per speaker, 9 speakers are allowed per evening. Does anyone wish to address the board? Okay, hearing none. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn our regular board meeting.
oh, we can't adjourn it.
Oh, yep, okay. We'll need a motion to go into executive session, and the reason is for preparing, conducting, or reviewing collective bargaining strategy. Okay, do I have a motion to go in,
So moved.
and a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? Okay.
Should be
thank-
probably noted that we're not going to take any action from the executive from the executive session when we come back in sessions for,
Well, when we come back, we have to make the statement that no decisions have been made if
Right.
no decisions have been made.
well, I was just trying to help the
Okay,
audience that,
okay. We'll let everybody break, clean the tables
The
off.
audience is dismissed.
Yep.
Lisa, you're staying? I'm assuming. Yes, Diana is staying. Lisa, would you give your paper to her, because